Hi everybody, Brian here from QuantLabs.net. Just want to talk about the difference between uh, different IDEs for Python, the integrated development environments for Python development. As you might know, I do use Sublime a lot, and then I just run everything natively on the command line using the Python interpreter. But from time to time, I'd still need to use a debugger to be able to go through some more complicated coding, as this script is fairly not complex, but it's got a lot of looping and a lot of crazy stuff going on. So if you're new to all this may overwhelm you, but I just wanted to show you some of the advantages of this versus doing what I traditionally do. Here you can set breakpoints uh, on your code. So you can have the code when it runs stop at certain points, and you can also view the values of the code as it runs. So in my case, I'm just running it through a debug session right now. Let me just stop everything and fire it up again. So a few things about the Studio Code, Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. It's free. The Pycharm I find has just gotten really bad lately. I can't debug with it. I can't set it up. I can't figure out how to set up the underlying Python interpreters, which they should be able to detect automatically. Visual Code has its own a lot of quirks, so I'm using both Sublime still, and in this case, Visual Code for debugging. This is free. You don't have to pay quite a number of dollars for the PyCharm. That's free too as well. But I think that this one, surprise, surprise, is a better IDE versus anything else I've seen that's for free on Mac, Linux, and obviously Windows. One thing I do think Microsoft can do right is IDEs, especially Visual Studio is probably their best product. I find it really quirky though. So, for instance, when you install these extensions, you have to install a Python one. I have one for C++ if I ever use that, and then you can't just default and run out of box. You have to download this Code Runner extension as well to be able to get this little triangle run our icon to run. In my case, we're doing the debugging. So that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. Okay, so just wanted to mention that to you. The other thing I do like that a lot of other IDEs don't do is do the Intellisense. So you get all the parameters and internal documentation as you are maybe a newbie coder. So the other thing is the power and the advantage is the debugger. So as I said, we can set different breakpoints throughout the code. So in my case, I'm not here to teach you this stuff, but to show you what it can do. Let it run, and it'll get to a certain point where the running execution will stop. So it stops here at this breakpoint. You can see here, I have the values of the current variables in scope. Some may be undefined here. Some of them may be arrays with their values. And then up here, you can kind of step over, or if you wanted to do a step in, which will then, let's say you wrote your own classes, that it would step into those classes that you may have compiled or built that you have access to. Some other ones may be open and public as well, that you can go through those as well. And then here you can reset everything, restart the debugger. So in my case, what we can do here is we can just do, in this case, this condition here of this down rest, or whatever they call it. So here we have this one called, let's say, is up rest. So here it flashes up the current value is false. No different than in here. So here we can see the current, or we're actually setting this value here of true. and then we can step over and see what it does. So it's going to take us now into this loop, and then you can see what's happening here. So we have J, which will be probably undefined right now. Oh, no, there's a value for J. And then the range for the loop. So it's going to iterate 5 times for this flag min period. And then it will just continue going through this. So I can quickly see what the values are and see what it's doing. And this is has a lot of advantages. Obviously, the other way, Sublime and the running on the interpreter does not work. So I just wanted to show you this. And it's pretty powerful, so I can stop it and then restart, as I said, set the proper environment. Here we have all our errors and warnings, and here we have some other things. So the language obviously we're using is Python, and then we're back into our debugger. So I just want to show you this, some of the advantages if you're a newbie to Python. This one is not bad. I wouldn't use the editor completely, but I do like the debugger, because you won't be able to get this anywhere else. Okay, so that's pretty well it. Just wanted to show you, make a quick video on debugging with Python in Visual Code or Visual Studio Code versus Pycharm, which is, well, it's not as good as it used to be. And this is 100% free from Microsoft. All right, talk to you later.